According to a new whistleblower, Erez Ruveni, who used to work at the Department of Justice, there was a secret meeting on the 14th of March that was headed by Emil Bove. Emil Bove is the number 3 in the Department of Justice, Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer, and he's got a confirmation hearing on Wednesday to get a lifetime appointment on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. But according to Erez Ruveni, who I trust, who was fired for telling the truth to a federal judge, he was instructed, along with others in the Department of Justice, to lie to federal judges, to not tell the truth to federal judges, to not comply with federal judges' orders, to ignore them, or, in the words of Emil Bove, according to Erez Ruveni, to go tell federal judges to go F off. What is it with this administration and the F-bomb? And now Erez Ruveni, who we said was a hero at the time, he's now got himself some lawyers, and he's prepared a 27-page whistleblower complaint that he's given over to the House and the Senate about Mr. Bove. And it names names, and I'll tell you who's in trouble. Drew Ensign, who's appearing regularly in front of Judge Xinis in Maryland about Mr. Abrego Garcia. He's in trouble. Judge Boesberg, who was this close and actually found probable cause for criminal contempt against the Trump administration for violating his orders, he's got all the evidence he needs right now in the letter to continue with the contempt hearing once it's returned to him. Judge Xinis, who was affirmed 9-0 by the United States Supreme Court about the Abrego Garcia case, she's got all she needs to find the administration in contempt, and she's currently considering that issue right now. This is going to blow the doors and the roof off the Department of Justice. I'm Michael Popok, and I'm going to report on it right here for Legal AF. How'd we get here? Erez Ruveni had been with the Department of Justice in a nonpartisan capacity, working for both Republican and Democrat administrations for more than 15 years. He got himself an award. He was awarded, one of these best employees awards. Nobody ever had a problem with Erez Ruveni until the Trump administration came in. And then he was the senior lawyer. He had been given a promotion about a week or two before by this lawyer, Drew Ensign. And he was sent into court with Judge Xinis. And Judge Xinis asked him during the Abrego Garcia hearing about the guy from Maryland who was sent in the middle of the night, along with 200 other people, to El Salvador, even though he had an order to prevent him from being removed to El Salvador. She said, how did this happen? He had an order of removal, and he had told the truth. He said it was a mistake, that it was improper, that he had told ICE that it was improper, but they did it anyway. She thanked him, Judge Xinis, for his candor. At that moment, his career was over. He was fired for not being a zealous advocate, for effectively not lying. Pam Bondi fired him for not lying in court, in violation of his oath, in violation of his oath as an officer of the court, as a violation of her oath to suborn perjury. And he was shown the door. Okay, even though he was just promoted 2 weeks earlier. So did they think that was going to be the end of Erez Ruveni? No. Now that Emil Bove, who is Donald Trump's former criminal defense lawyer in all of his cases, including at the case involving the criminal conviction of Donald Trump, where they lost, his partner is currently the number 2 Department of Justice head, Todd Blanche. So now that Emil Bove is up for a lifetime appointment to the Third Circuit, which covers Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Delaware, and the Virgin Islands, we got Erez Ruveni. Let me read to you from his whistleblower letter, in which he says point blank that they were told that they were to tell the courts to go F off. This is on page 7 of his letter, March 14, 2025. On Friday, March 14, 2025, Mr. Ruveni received a notice of his promotion to acting deputy director of the Office of Immigration Litigation. Hold that point. He's just got promoted. He's now in a meeting. In that meeting is the Deputy Assistant Attorney General of the Office of Immigration Litigation, Drew Ensign. Also, Emil Bove, who's the Principal Assistant Deputy Attorney General at the time. The counselor to the Deputy Attorney General, James McHenry, Associate Deputy Attorney General Paul Perkins, Ensign, and Mr. Ruveni's direct supervisor, August Flenchy. They're all in the room. At the meeting, according to Mr. Ruveni, Bove indicated, this is the guy who's up to be a lifetime appointed judge, indicated to those in attendance that the Alien Enemies Act proclamation would soon be signed, and that one or more planes containing individuals subject to the AEA would be taking off over the weekend, meaning Saturday the 15th or Sunday the 16th. Bove did not provide further details. Bove then made a remark concerning the possibility that a court order would enjoin those removals before they could be effectuated, which is what happened. Judge Boesberg ordered before the planes took off that they be grounded and not be sent to El Salvador until he has an opportunity to determine whether due process was given or not. Bove stated to this assembled group, including Ruveni, that the DOJ would need to consider telling the courts to fuck you. This is in his letter, I'm sorry. And ignore any such court order. Mr. Ruveni perceived the others in the room that they looked stunned. He observed awkward, nervous glances among the people in the room. Silence overtook the room. Mr. Ruveni and others were quickly ushered out of the room. Notwithstanding its directive, Mr. Ruveni left the meeting understanding that DOJ would tell the Department of Homeland Security to follow all court orders. Mr. Ruveni was stunned by the statement because in his knowledge, no one in the Department of Justice leadership and any administration had ever suggested that the Department of Justice could blatantly ignore court orders, especially with an FU. But it goes on. He then details in his letters all the places in which judges, including Boesberg and Judge Xinis, were lied to by members of the Department of Justice. That should be an automatic referral to the bar associations and the bars in order to disbar these people. He particularly points to Drew Ensign as having lied in court. He said on page 9, Mr. Ruveni believes Ensign's statements to the court, that would be Judge Xinis, about Abrego Garcia, that he did not know whether the alien, to Judge Boesberg about the 150 people sent to El Salvador, that when Ensign told the judge he did not know whether the Alien Enemy Act removals would take place in the next 24 or 48 hours, that was false. That he had been present in the meeting on the 14th of March, which is the night of the day that Boesberg entered his order. He said, we'll investigate it and get back to you, Judge. When Judge Boesberg asked how soon he could get that information, Ensign said the government could certainly include the information in a document they were filing tomorrow night. At that point, Boesberg adjourned the hearing. And then he details all the ways that Ensign lied to the court. If I'm Judge Boesberg, I call up Ensign and bring him into court on Monday, if not sooner, to answer for the charges leveled against him by Mr. Ensign. He also says that it was Bove who came up with the half-baked idea that the injunction that was issued by Judge Boesberg could be ignored because he only issued it orally from the bench and hadn't yet reduced it to writing. That is a utter and complete misstatement of the law and jurisprudence around injunctions. He then details all the opportunities, all the issues where the government had refused to comply with a court's order over and over and over again. The filing of a brief that had false facts in it all through March. Now, that's all in the case involving Judge Boesberg. In Judge Xinis' case, which is the Abrego Garcia case, he also says there were erroneous claims that were represented to Judge Xinis about the government's evidence against Mr. Abrego Garcia as being a leader of MS-13 without any evidence to support that allegation. And that when Ruveni raised his objections, he was fired. That's a classic whistleblower. And the timing is perfect because Bove is up for in the Judiciary Committee for a confirmation hearing. And this is now, tomorrow, going to be front and center. I'll get the clips from it. I'll bring it back to you right here on Legal AF. I told you originally, watch Mr. Ruveni, that he was going to be a hero. I was surprised by the silence in the last couple of months. But he now has himself a fine set of lawyers, including Government Accountability Project, who have now done the right thing. They'll pursue the claims against the government for him being fired. He has whistleblower protection, and I am sure he will be called into a hearing. At least the Democrats will try to call him in to that hearing to testify. All that Bove's supporters had to say, like Todd Blanche, who was his former law partner, right? It was Blanche, the law offices of Todd Blanche, one associate, one partner, Emil Bove, who did all of the Trump defense work. Todd Blanche said, "Oh, it's all unsubstantiated. It's all from a former employee without substantiation." Yeah, good luck with that as they roll in to the Senate confirmation hearing. Until my next report, I'm Michael Popok.
I'm Michael Popok, and I got some big news for our audience. Most of you know me as the co-founder of Midas Touch's Legal AF and the Legal AF YouTube channel, or as a 35-year national trial lawyer. Now, building on what we started together on Legal AF, I've launched a new law firm, the Popok Firm, dedicated to obtaining justice through compassionate and zealous legal representation. At the Popok Firm, we are focused on obtaining justice for those who have been injured or damaged by a life-altering event, by securing the highest dollar recoveries. I've been tirelessly fighting for justice for the last 35 years, so my own law firm organically building on my Legal AF work just feels right. And I've handpicked a team of top-tier trial fighters and settlement experts throughout all 50 states known as big auto injury attorneys who have the know-how to beat heartless insurance companies, corporations, government entities, and their attorneys. Big Auto's attorneys working with my firm are rock stars in their respective states, and collectively responsible for billions of dollars in recoveries. So if you or a loved one have been on the wrong side of a catastrophic auto, motor vehicle, rideshare, or truck accident, suffered a personal injury, or been the victim of medical malpractice, employment harassment or discrimination, or suffered a violation of your civil and constitutional rights, then contact the Popok Firm today at 1-877-POPOK-AF or by visiting my website at www.thepopokfirm.com and fill out a free case evaluation form. And if we determine that you have a case and you sign with us, we don't get paid unless you do. The Popok Firm, fighting for your justice every step of the way.